Okay, so I just recorded a really long video and my voice is rough, so I apologize if I sound rough. But anyway, yesterday, for me, a couple days ago for you, Ariel Bissett posted the end of the year book tag. And I thought, it's too early for that. And then I watched the video, and there's a bunch of questions about the last quarter of the year, about autumn. And I realized that this tag is supposed to be for the final quarter of the year. And then I realized we're almost in the final quarter of the year. And then I stared at the wall for 10 minutes. We're almost done with 2021. What? Anyway, existential crisis behind us. I decided, hey, yeah, this is a great time for the tag because I tend to be guilty of posting this tag too late and then it's asking about autumnal books, and then I realized that autumn is... Anyway, this is the time to do it. So question number 1, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So funny story, normally I would say no, because I think I'm pretty good at starting a book and then either quitting it because it's not working for me or finishing it. But there is a book that I did this to years ago and didn't actually think I was going to come back to, but lately, for whatever reason, I've been thinking I really need to give that book another chance. I really need to try it again with fresh eyes. I remember almost nothing about it, and I need to give it another go. So that book is Anne of Green Gables. I've been thinking a lot lately about how I really need to give this book another go. Actually, now that I think of it, I think this was in Ariel's video. Huh. Anyway, I've been thinking for a while, I really need to get back to Anne of Green Gables. Or not get back to, but start over, because, you know, it didn't work for me at the time, but I feel like fresh eyes, I need to give it another try. So I've actually been thinking that this will probably be a book that I read while I'm on maternity leave. So that's coming up soon. We'll talk about that eventually. I keep promising you adoption updates, but then things keep getting delayed. We'll get there. There will be an adoption update soon. There actually will be. Question number 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? I do. Well, autumnal is true for a couple of these. Anne of Green Gables, I think, is probably maybe will fit that. But then also, I feel like The Secret History of Donna Tartt, I read The Maidens earlier this year, like a month ago, I read The Maidens, and I hated it. And one good thing that it did for me was it made me very interested in dark academia, because the book was pitched as dark academia, which I understand why. And then I looked up what that is, and when I looked up the definition of dark academia, I thought, that's something I would love. So anyway, I Googled the most popular dark academia. The Secret History showed up. I want to read The Secret History. And it seems like dark academia has those kind of fall vibes. I don't know if that's true. I'm very new to this genre, but I really want to read this and could see myself potentially liking it. I know it's a slow burn. I know it's kind of a mystery genre, and mystery isn't my thing, but I would like to give it a go. And then also, I just really like spooky books around this time of year, like everyone else in the world does. I know that I'm going to be reading The Haunting at Hill House. It's one of our Patreon buddy reads, and then I also have a public server where we'll be reading The Only Good Indians. Both of these are horror books. I can't find my copy of The Only Good Indians for anything. I can't find it, and it's driving me nuts. It's genuinely driving me nuts. But I'm either going to find it or I'm going to buy another copy and read it, as well as The Haunting of Hill House. And then I also have The Woman in Black, which I think is another kind of spooky story, but it's called a classic ghost story. It has nothing to do with Christmas. Why was I thinking that it's a Christmas story? It's a ghost story. I'll definitely be reading this by the end of the year as well. And then I don't know if I'll read this, but I wanted to read this last year and then didn't get to it within the time frame that it should be read. It's called This Time Next Year, and it's a romance about, I think it's a Groundhog Day, New Year's Day sort of situation, if I'm remembering correctly. And I let that window pass me last year, so I'm gonna try to hit it this time. Question number 3: is there a new release that you're still waiting for? No, I'm very bad at keeping up with new releases. I'm really bad at keeping track of what's coming out soon. So I know that Brandon Sanderson is going to release the 3rd book in the Skyward series. I think it's going to be 4 total, and I'm of course excited about that because I loved Skyward so much, and I enjoyed Starsight a lot. So excited to see what book 3 does. And I know that Bachman is coming out with the next Beartown book, but I don't think that's going to be this year. I think that's next year. So those are 2 that I'm really excited about. Question number 4, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? 3? Oh, oops. I didn't see that when I was reading over these questions, so I grabbed more. I have 4. Let me cheat. I have not read enough du Maurier this year. I read, I think, 3 of her books at the very beginning of the year. Yeah, I read 3 of her books within the first 3 months of the year. And then I haven't read anything from her for the rest of these months. So I still own 2 that I haven't read yet, so I definitely want to read at least one of these, so that can count as 1 book. I definitely want to read This Close to Okay. This is a literary fiction, and I've been really fantasy leaning with my reading lately, which will never change. I love fantasy, but I also really love other genres too, and I kind of want to tilt the scales a little bit more so that I'm a little bit more balanced again. And This Close to Okay is a literary fiction that looks really interesting. I know that it starts off with, I think, him, he's about to jump off a bridge, and she is a therapist, I think, and she talks him down, and then they both have complicated pasts and complicated things that they're dealing with, and they kind of lean on each other, and I don't really know a lot about it, but I do know that when I got it in the mail, a lot of people commented that they thought that I was going to particularly really like this one, so I'm really excited for it. And then The Mask of Mirrors, which is pitched as, let me see, where's the pitch? Anyway, somebody pitched it to me as very similar to The Lies of Locke Lamora, and you can't do that and not set expectations are really, really high. But I do know that this writer name is a pen name for an author duo. I don't know one of the authors, but I do know that one of the authors is the author of the Lady Trent series. The Natural History of Dragons is the first book in the series, and I've read the first 2 this year, and I've really enjoyed them, and I want to read more from this author, and it's this author plus another author writing something that is similar to The Lies of Locke Lamora, so I'm very, very excited about it. I don't know if it'll make it to the end of the year, but I think I'll at least start it by the end of the year. Question number 5, is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Yes, I do. I think that this one could. I think it could. If it is its own take on The Lies of Locke Lamora, that's a really good, probably, yeah. Question number 6, have you already started making reading plans for 2021? No. So, I'm really good at making very ambitious plans and then not even attempting to follow through on them. I really like making goals, and then I really like forgetting those goals immediately after they're made. So I do goals. I do them every year. But this year, I actually am going to have an update on our adoption coming to you really soon because, as I said, I keep thinking that we're close to the end, and then we hit delay and delay and delay and delay. You know, trying to adopt in 2020 and 2021 is exponentially more difficult. It's just, there's a lot going on, and the government has other things that they have to prioritize, which I understand, but it is hard. Anyway, we've had a lot of delays, but I actually do think that we're at the end now, and so does my family coordinator, the adoption agency that we're working through. So I will have an adoption update for you soon. I do know that this last little chunk of the year, I'm going to be a mom of 2, which is just very, very exciting. And I think that next year, I know that next year I have no idea what the year is going to look like for me as a mom and for everything. So no, I don't think I'll do goals this year. I think that I'm just gonna let myself live and read however. So no, I don't have any goals. I will definitely continue the channel. I know that for a fact because I absolutely adore the channel, and I'm not going anywhere. But other than that, I don't know. I will still be reading. Anyway, that was the tag. It was quick. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love it if you wanted to answer these questions for yourself down in the comments. Let me know specifically what new release you're looking forward to, because like I said, I'm very bad at keeping up with that, but I would love to look some new books up that look really interesting, especially if it's a book by an author that isn't already on my radar. If you have some, you know, indie author or new author that has a new release coming up that you're particularly excited about, please leave it in the comments so that I can do a little bit of research, see what's coming up. Anyway, I post videos every Tuesday through Friday. I'll see you again soon. Bye.